to raise the standard in cancer care.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am excited to be here today on this great day, another day that we've never seen before or been a part of. That's a blessing. And, today I want to just talk a little bit about what God has inspired into me uh, concerning days of acceleration. See, God's timing is not the time that we really know. There's no time period in miracles. So I just want to thank him this morning so that he can make things happen faster than we could ever imagine, that you can accelerate and he can help accelerate our harvest, our deliverance, accelerate our healing. And I'm believing that a blessing is overtaking us right now. This is my appointed time for favor. Thank you that you are breathing on our lives in a new way, open doors to rapid rates and helping me to do what I could do my own. Thank you, Jesus. So, and I think that that plays a very important role in our lives today because we are at a point in our lives now that things are happening all around us. But see, we go on as normal. Remember, I am not about the norm. The norm got to stop. It's got to change. The norm corrupts and changes us when we are trying to excel. So if you look back at 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we was excelling in a city within a city. We built a city within a city. Did some research the other day on 9th Street in Little Rock, Arkansas. 9th Street in Little Rock, Arkansas. Same situation. We were business owners. We were building wealth. We was not operating in the norm per se. We were operating in our God-given talents and skills. And we created a lot of good things. And we need to do that today. It's available. It can happen. So as we get into this podcast today, I want you to let me just welcome you here first. Welcome to Houston Wall Street Movement Podcast. Please go ahead and share this broadcast to those you think need the amazing movement and the information. Okay. And we'll move right along because I want to impart some great information for you today. Okay. So number one, we're going to talk about accelerating time because we are focused on millions of people changing their life set. In return, we're going to create billions. It's time out for just making money. We got to create some wealth because we got another generation of younger people coming in that we have to have things already provided for them so that they could go forward. Leaving generational wealth, money-wise, leaving generation legacy and a mindset to where they can go forward. Because if you just go to them and have nothing of substance, this generation don't hear the older generation. So let's give them some substance in what we're talking about and what we're doing and what we actually do. Because do is going to be theirs and they can't change that. But to have them to go along today with us, it's not happening. It has a very few. But I want to let you know that God's still in the miracle business. Only reason we don't hear about the miracles because it's not enough happening. There's some miracles happening today, but not on a widespread basis. Because see, we're still locked up in the world system. The world system has a way keeping things from us. If you take the communist world over there, the rulers and the people that's in charge keep things away from them. TV, radio, outside people, outside word, outside information. We're free here to do as we please. So let's step up to the plate and start making changes, start working within our God-given talents and skill that God has gave us so that we can make a difference. We got to make a difference. I'm broadcasting on a lot of platforms right now. So if you can chime in, that'll be fine. I'm going to go here and I'm going to open up comments, and feel free to comment. Welcome, Miss Lambert. Annie Dean, welcome, 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 welcome. See, we got to start doing something spectacular. I ran this field and this run for a long time out there. And I prayed for God to enlarge my territory. But the territory that I enlarged, I prayed for God to do it, but I myself enlarged a territory that was not mine. It caused destruction in a lot of ways. But other than taking vengeance, I gave my vengeance to the Lord. And in return, he has empowered me to do things that I never even thought of. What about Ed? Ed can do this. He did it for others. He can do it for himself. And that's where I am today. And we want to take the time seed and put it on God's timing. There's no limitation on how many miracles that we can do or start. And that's what we're working on. Okay. With the world systems, it's prevalent. We're locked into those. A lot of people have retired in the world system, still not where you want to be. But see, in God's system, retirement is great as it is today while we're still here, living and doing the things that we want to do. But we need to start doing it for ourselves. We need to go back to 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We need to come back in the early mid 60s and 70s and 80s of 9th Street and Little Rock. The more and more that I talk about the movement that I have created, the Houston Wall Street movement, is where it started. But the movement itself is going to be in all 50 states. We're moving rapidly. We're just like the miracles that you don't hear about. We are moving rapidly. And we want the people that hear and do things to be on our side, to be with us, walk with us. There's strength in numbers. There's power in numbers. Become unified. That gives us the power we need. I look back at the previous things that I've done. Numbers played a great part, but it didn't build the wealth for me. It built it for others. The unity that I had was beneficial to others. We need that same unity where it's going to be created equally. If I'm a millionaire, so are you. So are they. We started this journey together. We became wealthy on this journey together. But we're not thinking just making money. Sure, I made plenty of money, but no wealth. We don't want to go through many, many years. See, mine wasn't in 1921. I'm back in the early 60s with Little Rock 9th Street. Mine was a past 25 to 30 years from now, 2 years ago. So we don't have to go way back for it still to be happening. So God says, in all I get an understanding. I was so focused on making money, I didn't get the understanding. I put too much trust in man. I went against every principle that God had laid before me. But now I'm focused. I'm focused, and he's giving me what to say. Principles. Yeah, the ungodly can be wealthy because if he do God's principles, he can still benefit and be a wealth. Still have to give an account of his salvation. But I want you to understand when we say things about the rich getting richer, uh, I'm a Christian. I've been there for 15, 20, 30 years or all my life. There's no wealth for me. Well, you got to think about this. What have you done lately for God to bless you financially to become wealthy? Wealth is not allocated. So when you start creating things so that you can go forward and give him something to work with, he gave us examples in the talents. The people that didn't do anything didn't get anything. The ones that did something accelerated, got more, and went forward, higher heights. Isaiah 48, I think 48 and 19, God want to take us to higher heights. He told us to forget about all the stuff that he done for us in the past. Because where he wants us to go, we cannot even conceive. That's big. Deuteronomy 8 and 18 said he already gave us the power to gain wealth. We already got it. So what's left? We got to do something, right? That's what we're missing. Michael Jordan's affirmation is one that I always talk about, I always use. He says, the biggest problem we have, we never start. So we're starting today. We're starting today unifying ourselves. We all been doing something, but we're going to unify and be a power. We want to be people to become instantly wealthy. Instantly, because miracles still exist and there's no time factor on it. We got to take this time factor out of our lives and start asking God to create miracles in our life instantly and look forward to it and have faith that it will happen. That's where I am today. And I'm looking for like-minded people that want to build a culture of like-minded people, just as they did in 1921, just as they did in Little Rock, 9th Street venture. It really amazed me. See? But now we're stuck in the world system to where we're locked in on systems and subsystems that won't let us go. We're chasing money. We're struggling to make money when we should be struggling to build wealth. And the fastest and the best and most powerful way is in numbers and unity. That is the fastest way to do it. And that's the way God wants us to do it. Everybody getting that? Deuteronomy 8 and 18. We have the power to gain. In some versions, it said to get wealth. But we don't do the action part. See? If you give God a platform to bless you financially, he will. But see, we still believe in the pie in the sky falling. The wealth don't fall like that. It's not going to be taken from one wealth family over here and given to you. You build wealth for others and their companies and their businesses. Because in this worldly system, we are very conditioned and we don't even know it. Everything that we do in our lives is beneficial to others. We go get college degrees to go hire ourselves out to work for others. We get college degrees to get higher pay as we work for others. Let's reverse that. Let's get higher degrees to make more qualified people that's unified with us in numbers, that's creating wealth equally. That's a big word, equally. Not just one way. They didn't build the company by themselves. We helped build them. And that's the same thing going on today. We gotta change, people. That's what my movement is all about. I can only give you what God gave me, and I can only demonstrate what he gave me to impart to others. I can only demonstrate that. I believe, I have faith that everything that he said he was going to do will happen regardless. And I'm not the one to say something today and change tomorrow. One thing about it, I'm consistent in what I do. When I was wrong or going in the wrong direction, I was persistent in what I was doing. I believed in what I was doing. Now that I'm on a godly side, it still exists. I'm persistent and I believe in the direction that he's showing me because it's totally different. And one thing about it, it's not self-centered. I'm talking about everyone becoming wealthy equally. If that's not happening, that's not where we're supposed to be. Understand? So I kind of got off on that track there, but that's what happens, right? We need to go to God's system and get off the world system. God's system is what works for us. There's no time in God's miracles. None. It can happen just like that. We have to set the pace, put something in flow that can flow. If we're just thinking it and we're not putting it into practice or on paper, and so people can understand and run with it, Habakkuk 2:2. But I like Habakkuk 1, 2, and 3. Number 3 says it will not fail. That's a confirmation. Some people just use parts of it, Habakkuk 2:2. Well, that's good too. You wrote it down and you made it plain so people can understand and run with it. But number 1, God's in the plan. Habakkuk 1, God's in the plan and blessing what you're going to do. Number 3, because God's involved, it will not fail. So 1, 2, and 3 in Habakkuk is powerful to me. And that's what I'm focused on. I want things to happen. I prayed the prayer of Jabez. Oh, how I wished he would bless me indeed. See, I do that because whatever God has to offer, I want to do it and have it. Be a part of God's great transfer of wealth, not man's transfer, God's transfer of wealth. So we have to position ourselves in the area where we can be blessed, or we can be a part of that transfer of wealth, transference of wealth. And I'm looking for 24 people that know 2 people that are ready to change their life. It don't take a lot. I had 7,000 people and still didn't build wealth. Wrong system. Wrong system. We need to get in God's system. And if you have a comment or question, please do. Speak up. Let's talk. One thing about it, communication always close the gap. The less communication we have, we're going to constantly be apart. And then that gives people that's communicating with each other and has plans in place that they want to implement can step in between us. Let's communicate. Let's understand. I just partnered with a pastor in Meridian, Mississippi. Concept adopted, attached itself to me right away. Called me thinking I was, a scam call. And we talked. And she was just amazed at what she was trying to do and that I was already doing and how far God has brought me in the process. And I told her, no, it wasn't an accident. It was done by design. God brought us together because, see, her goal is that she wants to equally help the mom and pop stores, the small businesses to be successful in areas of less knowledge about building wealth or having a business or even starting a business, right? Her father left her some land and inheritance and everything. So she's a pastor and she wants to send it forward and be a blessing to her family as well. So God showed her that she need to share with other people. So our paths crossed. We had our first Zoom meeting. It was phenomenal. And we're having our next on the 31st, and we're going to unify. See, we're going to build and we're going to make $1 million a month. Because see, we're not thinking small, we're thinking billion. It's time for the billions to start flowing in more hands than what it is. If you look at the black billionaires, you can count them on your hand. Sure, there's a lot of billionaires, and there's a lot of people that's got a lot of billions. See, but we want to build individual billionaires, and when we get 2 billion, we all have 2 billion. We got to be unified. Numbers is a powerful thing. I was caught up in numbers. The numbers I was caught up in made me money. Excuse me, but no wealth. And I was sold a story of that I should take that money that I made and get in the world system to make more money to have wealth. No, I didn't join the company to just make money. I joined the company to make wealth, like you. But see, when it came down to that, it didn't exist. And it wasn't planned to end that quick. It was just the Lord awakening me to see where I was. I was dedicated, still dedicated, but I'm dedicated now to my own company and the way the Lord want me to push it. And the Lord want me to carry it. And the people that I deal with and the people that's listening to me now, if they know me or anything about me, they understand what I am saying. And I'm not being derogatory toward anyone or anything other than my own defaults. I didn't stick with what God was telling me to do. I knew when I first got started, when I left Illinois, I told him to enlarge my territory. I was just exposed to the Prayer of Jabez book, and I was praying for him to enlarge my territory. And he did. But the benefits was the other way around. So we need to go back into what we're doing now and unify ourselves to something that's bigger than ourselves. The Houston Wall Street movement is a big thing. I've been working on it for years. I fund everything myself to get to this point today because I want people to understand if I can do it where I was. Sure, I went from $100,000, $200,000 a year down to no thousands a year. But I quickly came back and brought it to sustainable levels now that God can bless me because I'm focused now. And I'm praying on miracles, not just things that happen. Because see, I've learned and he have shown me that there's no time factor involved in what he can do. So now I'm on the right track. I'm just needing people that's of like-mindedness that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves and go forward. That's all. Believe me, if you don't do it today, you'll start tomorrow doing it for someone else, or you continue to do it for someone else, or you be complacent. God don't want us to be complacent. We're not too old. We're not too can't do, don't have the mindset. We got more education than the rest of the world. We got plaques. Look at my wall back. I got all kind of educational stuff because I sought after things of the world. It was supposed to make me to what I thought I was going to be. I got the education, I got the degrees, I got the skills. I even went to the on-the-job training, Job Corps, whatever. I was seeking all my life. But my direction, I was going under my own. But the Lord said, my thoughts are not his thoughts. My directions are not his directions. See? So now that I'm focused, I'm following the leader. I'm following my master. I'm following the creator of everything. And I'm sold out on Word Seed. There's a word seed for everything in our life anything we think we want to do, there's a word seed for that. And my book talks about the word seed. It talks about the word seed. It talks about all the things that God has put into me concerning money, finance, and debt. I didn't realize that I had been so empowered over the years and time of the things that I did and was associated with, that it would stay with me. And when God showed me how powerful I was with my own knowledge and experience, I don't need Les Brown to come in and talk for me. I'm the star of my own show. I said, Lord, me? I was like Moses and the rest of the disciples and the men of God back in the day. Me? No. Yes, he said. You don't need them. Be the inspiration. Be your own speaker. I was even led in the past that I wasn't good enough to speak. And I heard it by accident, I thought. But see, it was God letting me hear things to make a decision. But see, I didn't follow that quiet voice. In my book, I talk about the quiet voice. I didn't listen to that quiet voice. And I didn't listen to the voice that I overheard. Well, we don't put them in front of people because I don't like the way they speak. I don't like the way they talk. I don't like the way they do this, do that, or whatever. So my thoughts was that I could build wealth, period, doing what they would let me do. But God woke me up and brought me out of all of that. Never did it. I take it back. I did videos, but they weren't good enough for anybody else. See? But when you come through God, whew, there's nothing too hard for God. There's always people listening that has God in their heart to make things happen. Those are the people that I'm looking for. Those are the like-minded people that needs to be a part of this culture. I'm talking about building strip malls. I'm talking about building fourplexes, acquiring land, even the bank. If they did it back in 1921 in the early 60s, we can do it now. God has imparted in me a program to do millions of dollars a month. Now, what can we do with millions of dollars a month? Anything we please. God provided the resources. That's what I prayed for. Provide the resources to go forward. Because one of the biggest hurdles in a person starting business is financial hurdles. But we had it in our hands all the time. So he gave me that system. That system is ready to operate. And it's only 1,000 people. 1,000 like-minded people, because we want to cover the whole United States. 1,000 like-minded people to create $1 million a month. Not the worldly investments, but tangible investments, income-producing assets. A fourplex would be an income-producing asset. A chain of restaurants, differently from what we have in the norm. We're not talking McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and all of the West. We're talking about Little Lambert's specialty shop. She do specialty burgers, handcrafted and freshly grown spices from her own garden. See, it don't have to be the norm of what we used to. We got to get out of the norm. The norm has kept us in bondage for years. Go to school, get a good education, penny pinch and save, get a good job and retire, and you be okay. None of that exists. College is a business. There's no such thing as a good job unless you own the company. You can't penny pinch and saved. You barely make enough to live every day. So we've been sold a bill of goods for so long till now we're complacent and locked in to the same system that put us there. We're still in the same bondage. It's time to get out. And the only way you get out is to walk out with dignity and pride and say, look, I want to be part of something bigger than I am. Sounds good to me. How can I lose? It don't cost me my life. It don't cost me a fortune. Let me be a part to see what it's all about. That's a start. I didn't question God when he come before me. I said, show me the way. Which way that I should go? Excuse me. Okay. Thought I had turned my phone off. When he showed me which way to go, I went. No problem. Right away. Because see, I had been to the other side. Been to the other side. We understand a lot about going to the other side. It can be good. It can be bad. But I've been to the other side. Now I got to do God's side, under God's system, under his ruling, his guidance. In everything that I do, it might not seem normal to everybody else, but I'm not part of the norm. Not part of the norm. I stepped out of the norm 2 years ago. I'm out of the norm. If it's normal, I don't do it. It's normal for people to get up and drive to the city an hour to an hour and a half through the traffic and crazy driving people every day to go to work. It's normal for them. It's normal for me to start at 10 o'clock in my office and get off at 5. See, I got to work hard for me from my home. Work hard for me and my business partners. I got to educate them. I got to build them up. I got to show them what God showed me. Because we got to be like-minded. See, we won't be like 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma, because there'd be no gaps. You take out this generation, there's another generation. There's more people to do the like-mindedness of what we started. If it's just one, it's easily done. Look how much we lost. Sure, Martin Luther King left a great impact, but he was one. And everybody wasn't on the same page. Everybody that would walk with him and was around him wasn't on the same page. Got to be like-mindedness. See, most people want to be on the sameness, but that's what's getting us in trouble. We sameness. Oh, I've done that before. I'm looking for something that more or less I know how to do, can do, so on and so forth. That's sameness. We want to do things differently and we want to do it God's way. That's going to empower it. I'm talking today because I really want to reach the people that need to make a change. I mean, we've been toiling for years to no avail. We lived and made a living, but there's no wealth involved. My God talks about wealth. He don't talk about a lack of a little bit, just getting by. Oh, I'm satisfied. I'm okay. So on. All of these things are belittling the Father because he's not about that. He's about abundance. And we need abundance of cash to make a difference. If we're going to do this billion-dollar thing, then we got to be worth billions. And the only way to get there is when you start. And starting is right now. So if I said anything today that piqued your interest, please get back to me. Some people have my personal number. That's fine. Information is running across the stream. Believe me, everything I do has a benefit. It's going to benefit you in a way that you haven't been benefited before. Everything that I do, because other things I've done already. No wealth. We got to start doing things that's going to produce the wealth. We talk generational wealth. We talk generational legacies. But if you don't have the generational legacy to create wealth in you, you can't leave that legacy to your children's children. They need to start. Biblically speaking, when they get grown, boom, we set it up for them. It's already there. But that's not happening. And when it's where it's happening is very few or little. See, we got to do things. If we're going to do what the Lord say do, we got to go all the way. We can't let the things that once held us back hold us back any longer, because time is not a factor anymore. What we lost, God said, in your latter days, He would bless us more in our latter days than our former days. So age, time, and oldness has nothing to do with it. And most definitely, when I looked at miracles, miracles don't have no time either. So what am I waiting for? I'm in, sold out. But everybody else, I need to get on. First 24 people that I come in contact with that are going to join the movement from this broadcast today. I will be back on Wednesday. I will be back on a Zoom tonight at 7. And Wednesday, 1 o'clock, I'll be here. Wednesday night on Zoom, Friday night on Zoom. All of this information, the Zoom information, contact me, send me email, message me or whatever, and I will get that link over to you. It's already set up. But here on the podcast, it's the time for conversating through comments. It's the time for conversating and getting the information you need to make decisions or inquire. I'm ready. My time is dedicated to the cause, and that's the Houston Wall Street movement, the way God would have it to be. I'm not leaving him out on anything else that I do in life. Anything. And I hope and bless, I hope and pray that everybody that's within the sound of my voice feels the same way I do. Let's come together, create the numbers, and unify ourselves. It's not too late to start building wealth instantly, because see, I still believe in miracles. And I believe and have faith that God's going to bless and do just what he said, because he ain't a man to tell a lie. The liars has already cost me a fortune. So I'm following the man that can't lie. So I leave it today. God bless each and every one that was here today in the sound of my voice. And I'll see everybody at the top. Always victory. Hello, hello, hello.